Welcome to Chapter 3 of Advanced Vehicle Dynamics, Tire Dynamics. The tire is the only part of the car that touches the road, so every acceleration, braking, and cornering command must pass through the tire contact patch. This chapter works through the tire coordinate frame, tire stiffness, the forces in the contact patch, the effective rolling radius, rolling resistance, longitudinal force and slip, lateral force, camber force, and finally the friction circle. The primary reference is Chapter 3 of Jazar's Vehicle Dynamics. For the simulation problems, we also refer to Road Vehicle Dynamics by Rill and Arrieta Castro. The chapter has 4 objectives. First, formulate. You will attach the tire coordinate frame, define the camber angle gamma and the sideslip angle alpha, and describe the system of 3 forces and 3 moments that the road applies to the tire at the contact patch. Second, analyze the distribution of normal and shear stress over the contact patch, and from that understand how rolling resistance, longitudinal force, lateral force, and camber force are generated. Third, model. Use the experimental models, namely the rolling friction coefficient as a function of speed, pressure, and load, the Pesejka and Burkhardt slip models, the third-order lateral force model, and the friction ellipse. Finally, calculate the peak stress in the contact patch, the effective rolling radius, the power loss to rolling resistance, and the limiting longitudinal, lateral, and resultant forces of the tire. The chapter has 9 sections. Section 3.1, the tire coordinate frame and the force system. Section 3.2, tire stiffness. Section 3.3, the forces in the contact patch. Section 3.4, the effective rolling radius. Section 3.5, rolling resistance and the factors that affect it. Section 3.6, longitudinal force and longitudinal slip. Section 3.7, lateral force, sideslip angle, and the aligning moment. Section 3.8, the force due to wheel camber. And Section 3.9, a tire under combined loading, the friction circle. Altogether, there are 45 worked examples, placed immediately after the theory they illustrate. A star marks advanced material that may be assigned as self-study. Before we start, let us review 4 pieces of background. First, tire geometry from Chapter 1. The tire code gives the section width, the aspect ratio, and the rim diameter. The geometric radius is twice the section height, plus the rim diameter, all divided by 2. Second, stress and integration over an area. The normal stress sigma z and the shear stresses tau x and tau y are all measured in pascals, and the resultant force is the integral of stress over the area. Third, Coulomb friction. The limiting tangential force is proportional to the normal force, and the friction coefficient depends on the surfaces in contact and on the sliding state. Finally, the notation used throughout the chapter. Gamma is camber angle, alpha is sideslip angle, S is longitudinal slip ratio. Rg, Rh, and Rw are the geometric radius, the loaded height, and the effective rolling radius. And C alpha, C gamma, and Cs are the cornering stiffness, the camber stiffness, and the longitudinal slip coefficient. We begin Section 3.1, the tire coordinate frame and the force system. Here we attach the axes OXYZ at the center of the contact patch, orient the tire with 2 angles, the camber angle gamma and the sideslip angle alpha, and then list the 3 forces and 3 moments that the road applies to the tire. The axes are defined as follows. The x-axis is the intersection line of the tire plane with the road. The z-axis is perpendicular to the road surface, pointing upward, and the y-axis is chosen so that the 3 axes form a right-handed frame. The origin sits at the center of the contact patch, for a vertical tire standing still on a flat road. The camber angle gamma is the angle between the tire plane and the vertical plane, measured about the x-axis, seen from the front of the vehicle. The sideslip angle alpha is the angle between the velocity vector v and the x-axis, measured about the z-axis, seen from above. Remember this key remark. Every acceleration, braking, and cornering maneuver of a car is carried out through the forces generated under the tire contact patches. The tire force system has 6 components. The longitudinal force Fx acts along the x-axis, positive when driving, negative when braking. It is also called the forward force. The normal force Fz is the wheel load, positive upward, also called the vertical force. The lateral force Fy is tangential to the road and perpendicular to Fx, positive along positive y. As for the moments, the bank moment mx about the x-axis, the roll moment my about the y-axis, which is exactly the rolling resistance torque, and the aligning moment mz about the z-axis. In addition, the moment transmitted from the vehicle into the wheel spin axis is called the wheel torque, denoted T. The sign convention here is consistent with the frame in Figure 3.2, the SAE frame, whose z-axis points downward, is compared with it in Example 3.2. The first two examples concern the coordinate frame itself. Example 3.1 asks, for a cambered tire, where should we sensibly put the origin? The difficulty is that for a cambered tire the center of the contact patch is not always well defined. The practical choice is to place the origin at the midpoint of the intersection line between the tire plane and the road. When the tire is vertical and stationary, that point coincides exactly with the center of the patch. Example 3.2 compares the SAE frame with the frame used in this chapter. In the SAE frame, the z-axis points downward, x follows the intersection line, and y lies on the road pointing to the right. Alpha is positive when the tire slips to the right, and gamma is positive when the tire leans to the right. Its drawbacks are that a downward z-axis is less intuitive, and that camber on the left and right wheels carries opposite signs. That completes part 1. In the next part we move on to tire stiffness and the forces in the contact patch.